the latest injury update on Oregon cornerback Dontae Manning. If you guys didn't catch this story over on Ducks Digest, we've been covering this one since the genesis of it, if you will. On Saturday, when Dontae Manning got wheeled out of practice on a wheelchair, when the Ducks were holding their first spring scrimmage. And then after we had the press conferences, we later saw him walking past the media in a pretty heavy leg brace. So that certainly was an encouraging sign. But we did get an update from Dan Lanning when we talked to him on Tuesday. As you would expect, coaches usually like to hold the injury updates pretty close to the vest. But here's the quote that we have from Lanning. Right now, he has an injury, going through recovery. We don't think it'll be a long-term deal. So, Dylan, I think that's certainly some positive news on the injury front regarding Manning. Seems like it's still a little too early to tell too much about it. On Saturday, we didn't get a lot of specifics from Lanning because he had just wrapped up practice, so you wouldn't expect a lot of information to be readily available. But it sounds like it's at least a little bit encouraging when you hear the words "not long term."
Yeah, and the wheelchair, like, hearing that part kind of freaked me out a little bit. I think a lot of Ducks fans are a little worried about that, but the fact that he wasn't on crutches coming out was a really good sign, just because, with those lower leg ankle injuries, I'm not, trying to speculate what exactly it was, but, foot, ankle in that area, that sort of injury, it can be really tough to walk on that with such a heavy brace. So the fact that he's walking on it, and then you said Tuesday he was out there stretching and doing some light warm-ups, that's a really good sign. So, of course, we're not going to know a whole lot about his injury. I feel like people are trying to test Dan Lanning, seeing what he's going to reveal when it comes to injury stuff. Thankfully, there's not a whole lot to ask about, this time compared to last year. But, it sounds like it's progressing really well. I like that he's walking, obviously. But yeah, the not long-term thing, that's a really good sign. That's probably the best news out of what we've heard so far.
And we still don't have specific details as far as if it is, a foot or ankle or higher on the leg. I mean, if you think about the term leg injury, it's pretty all encompassing. So maybe it's something like a knee. I don't want to speculate too much. Hopefully we'll get those details and be able to share that with you, as we work through spring ball right now. But from what I saw at practice on Tuesday, he was out there with the team. And he was going through some of the warm-ups and putting weight on it and walking. It's not like he was going through drills and doing cartwheels and all that jazz, but it did look like he was moving on it fairly well, especially after what we saw when he first got injured. As far as, when you see a wheelchair, you think it's something a little bit more significant than that. But as far as the rest of the summer, the rest of the spring rather, just based on the brace that I saw, just to speculate and just kind of give my 2 cents, I don't think I would expect to see him in the spring game just after seeing that. And I think, I'm not sure how significant I would say it is because it is still so early in the spring. But with how young that room is, you really want to minimize, in my opinion, how much time he's missing. I'm not saying rush him back, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for something like a spring game, obviously it'll help the coaches. It'll help the young guys out there, keep getting those 11-on-11 reps, those live game reps as best as you can in April. But at the same time, you don't want to risk it if he's already got, if he's dinged up, you don't want to risk re-injuring him in a game that ultimately doesn't matter, win or loss. So I really think it's probably for the best if they hold him, even if he's progressing. I still think it's probably for the best, just because, being in that heavy boot, I don't feel like they're going to, you're going to see a real quick turnaround in the next 10 days. You never know. I could be completely wrong. Maybe that's a completely precautionary thing. The size of the brace is just for protection, and maybe he heals quickly, and hopefully he does. But I'm almost excited. It is kind of scary, but I am excited at the same time to see the guys behind him in the cornerback room, just because we haven't seen a lot of them. Like Avante Dickerson, Darren Barkins are two really talented guys. Then you got Jaleel Florence. This is a really Christian Gonzalez. Haven't seen in an Oregon uniform yet. So yeah, really new cornerback room, and there was a lot to learn about it.
Darren Barkins was the guy that stepped in during Manning's absence, and the portion of practice that we saw, at least running with kind of that first group of defenders. We can't really call it a first team right now, and Dan Lanning's been pretty adamant about that. We don't have like an official depth chart. We kind of just have the green team and yellow team. So yeah, those guys that you mentioned, Vontae Dickerson and Julio Florence, continue to get at work. And that's been the approach of a lot of these defensive backs throughout the spring, is just working out a variety of positions and getting those reps, because like you said, a lot of those guys haven't. So we'll see how that brace is looking, and any other updates we can possibly share when the Ducks return to the practice field on Thursday, and keep you guys updated on the latest there on the injury front.